I'm Braden.
I'm Evan.
This is Ghost Stories and Stuff. Do Not Look Away by Random Questions. I moved into this house a week ago. Nothing special, just a one-bedroom with scuffed floors, peeling paint, and a draft that whispered through the cracks when the wind picked up. Rent was cheap, and I didn't ask questions. I couldn't afford to. The first few days were fine, dusty, quiet, maybe too quiet. I slept like crap, but that wasn't new. I figured it was just the usual insomnia, or the leftover anxiety still chewing at my gut after months of couch hopping. But then something shifted. At first, it was just a feeling. That subtle itch between your shoulder blades, like someone's watching you. But you're alone. I'd walk into the kitchen and feel eyes on my back. Turn off the bathroom light and feel like I had to run to the bedroom. Silly stuff, childhood fears. I told myself I was just adjusting. But a few nights ago, something happened I can't explain. I was lying on the couch late at night, TV on mute. The only light in the room came from the screen and the bulb behind me in the hallway. I left it on without thinking. Something about the dark in this place felt too heavy. And out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw something peeking around the edge of the hallway doorway. Two eyes, low to the ground, pale, wide, unblinking. They vanished the second I turned to look, just gone. Like they'd never been there at all. I told myself it was a trick of the light. Maybe a reflection. Maybe I was just tired. But I couldn't shake the image. Those eyes. There was something off about them. Not wrong in any obvious way. Just enough to make my stomach knot. They didn't blink. Didn't shift. Just stared like they were trying to memorize me. 3 nights ago, I tried to take a shower. I just stepped under the water, curtain only half drawn, because even then, something about closing it all the way made me uneasy. I wasn't thinking about that though. I was rinsing shampoo for my hair, eyes stinging. When I opened them, I saw part of a face peeking around the edge of the curtain. Just a sliver, pale skin, a sharp cheekbone, half an eye, too wide and too still. It was just standing there, watching me. No sound, no movement, just there. I froze, heartbeat in my throat. I didn't scream. I couldn't. I just stared. And then, slowly, it slid back out of view, gone. Like it had just wanted me to know it could get that close. I haven't been in that bathroom since. I taped the door shut the next morning and started using the kitchen sink for everything else. I sleep with the hallway light on now. Not because it helps, but because dark corners make it worse. The same night, I set up my phone in the hallway facing the corner. The one just outside the bathroom. The one where I kept feeling it. I turned on the motion detection, opened the live feed on my laptop, and stayed up watching. Hours passed, nothing. Then, around 3:17 a.m., the feed cut to black for 7 full seconds. And when it came back, the camera was tilted slightly to the left. I didn't touch it. I started moving differently through the house, walking sideways so I could keep corners in view. Mirrors went up in every room, on tables, door frames, even taped to the ceiling above my bed so I could keep an eye on the hallway without leaving my room. It helped, a little. But I had to sleep sometime, and that's when it got closer. I blinked. That's all it took. One blink. My eyes were burning from hours of staring at the hallway. I just needed a moment. I let them close and heard the couch scrape softly across the floor behind me. When I turned, it had shifted. Not much. Just an inch. But it was no longer flush with the bedroom door. Something had nudged it from the other side. That's when I realized it doesn't move if I'm watching. That's the rule. It waits, just out of sight. It only moves when you're not looking. The next morning, the bathroom door was open. The duct tape I'd used to seal it had been peeled off slowly, deliberately, like someone didn't want to make a sound. I didn't go near it. I didn't touch the tape. I just backed away and left it alone. Later that day, I called the landlord. I tried to stay calm, asked if anything weird had happened in the house, if other tenants ever complained. He got quiet. Then he said,
"You're not the first one to ask about that."
When I pushed for more, he said,
"If you're smart, you'll find somewhere else."
Then he hung up. He won't answer my calls now. Things aren't staying in the same place anymore. Not just furniture, walls. I know how that sounds, but I swear it's true. The hallway feels shorter now. I keep bumping into things I never used to. Shadows fall differently. Corners are tighter. I measured everything. The numbers say nothing's changed. But when I walk through this house now, it feels like it's watching me back. Or worse, like it's folding in around me. I've stopped looking at mirrors. A few nights ago, I glanced at one of the dressers and saw myself smiling. I wasn't smiling. Sometimes, I'll see something slipping out of frame when I turn my head. Always left, always behind. I don't turn my head anymore. I just keep walking, keep watching. Because if I don't, it'll move. And if it moves, I think it can finally reach me. And about an hour ago, I found the front door wide open. Not unlocked, not damaged, just open. And nothing in the house had moved. Nothing knocked over, nothing taken. It felt like an invitation. Like it was giving me a chance. I didn't take it. Because here's the thing. I think that's the choice. Leave, and it follows. Run, and it stays close. But stay. Stay. And it finally comes in. I'm writing this from bed. The camcorder screen is black. Not paused. Not frozen. Just off. I didn't turn it off. The hallway is quiet now. The light's still on. But it feels like it doesn't matter anymore. I haven't turned my head in over an hour. I can feel something breathing just behind me. I think it's already in the room. I know the rule now. It only moves when I'm not watching. So I'm going to sit here, eyes open, wide, burning. And if I blink, if you're reading this, don't look away. Not even for a second. Because it might be in your house now, too. It's such a fun story. I really like what random questions, what they do. It makes you question what's the difference between your mentality and reality.
I like that. This has been a fear of mine. I mean, I think it scares most people. Like looking around a corner and seeing a pair of eyes, like peeking around back at you.
Definitely.
But this story feels real. Especially like the shower. Just like
Yeah.
blinking in the shower, dude. Nah, I don't
Yeah.
I just don't blink in the shower. That's how you solve that problem.
For real.
Just let
Keep your eyes,
let the
burn it.
soap,
His eyes were open the entire time.
let the soap run down your face into your eyeballs.
It'll wash all your fears away.
Yeah. it's better than being haunted.
Speaking of showers, whenever I was a kid, my mom and my dad would hide in the shower and have the shower curtain completely closed. So whenever I would go in there and brush my teeth in the morning, they like moved like the shower curtain back and they just like screamed at me.
That's messed up.
And now every time that I go into a bathroom, regardless if it's mine or a friend's, I always open the shower curtain.
Makes sense. If that happened to me, I would do the same thing. That's a little crazy.
It's kind of messed up, but
one thing that stood out to me was the shifting house, but it wasn't shifting. Like the furniture was moving, the walls were moving, but he measured everything and it wasn't moving. Like what?
Yeah, it's like even the guy, he hasn't slept in like 3 days. And so I think it really makes you question. It's like, okay, lack of sleep. It never tells us what he does during the day. And so it's like lots of like, how long can you go without sleep for until you start to hallucinate?
Yeah, and the weird part is he saw the creature or whatever before he stopped sleeping. So that that wouldn't, the creature wouldn't be his hallucination, which makes it even scarier. Because then, seeing that and realizing that if he's looking at it, it won't move, that causing him not to sleep, it might be how the thing hunts or like kills its prey. Just sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
That is insane.
I thought it was kind of creepy. He had his, first and foremost, I'd never, it's a little fun facts with Braden in terms of staying away from creepy things. Never take a picture of yourself by yourself. Never record by yourself. And then go back and rewatch that video. So you might see something that wasn't there. But anyway, that being said.
Or was it there?
Or was it? Exactly. But so he has his phone set up in the hallway, and he's like watching through his laptop. And the screen, it says that the screen goes black for 7 seconds. I assume my guy's got that charger. He's all like loaded up, good to go for the entire night. And for no reason at all. And the phone shifts.
Yeah.
It's kind of jacked. And he lives by himself too. That's like, it all comes down. It's like, if he were to talk about this to someone else, they would just be like, you're just skeptical. You're just paranoid. That's a more better term.
Yeah, I've heard like non-fiction stories about stuff like that. Like people living on their own, and they start seeing things or thinking that something is in there with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's completely believable.
Yeah, for one, actually, there's a few points that we've made already. But let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. What are you doing up at 3:17 a.m.? You know good and well, if anything's going to happen, it's going to be at 3 o'clock. Just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Just sleep.
That'll
if you
fix
wake
all
up,
the problems.
if you wake up at 4, you're fine. Go to bed at 2. That way, whatever does come, you're unconscious and you won't think about it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you will. Also, really, like, he kind of does, though. He kind of does, like, seek help. Because he calls the landlord, and he's like, hey, like, this is, like, he doesn't necessarily say what's going on, but he kind of alludes. He's like, has there been issues in this house before? And the homie's just like, yep. That's your problem. If you knew any better, you would kick rocks. And I'm like, dang. Yeah. I wonder, okay, theory time. It doesn't really like talk about this much. I wonder if the face and the eyes that he sees are previous tenants of this house.
That makes a lot of sense. Because the landlord says you're not the first one to ask about that. So yeah, that fits. So because like previous, if that's the case, then previous tenants would have been haunted basically by the
Right.
people that lived there before them. So now that this guy's living there, yeah, he's just another one in the line.
Yeah. And so whoever comes next, this guy, he's the next thing.
Yeah.
Whoever comes in next, he will be those eyes and that face.
Yeah. Unless he survives.
Unless he survives.
And
you're right.
If the monster is, or the ghost or whatever, if it's running towards you and then you look at it, does it just stand there and wait for you to look away? Or does it like disappear somehow?
I think whenever it first begins, it catches you from a distance. And then slowly it kind of gets closer. Because he mentions this even in the beginning. Like, he sees it. Like, he locks eyes with this thing. But then, as the story progresses, it gets to a point where I think he says, like, it just wanted me to know that it could get that close.
Oh.
And so it's like taunting. It's like, you know, if you're down, if you like turn a corner in a hallway and it like, I don't know if it would like sprint at you. That's what, in my mind of minds, that's what I think if it were me. But then it would stop. But then as he's like starting to not turn corners sharply, it like it's like that's when it peaks like over the shower curtain or through mirrors. Like, oh, okay, we need to preference this. The reason I think it's so crazy, and this is how it like diverts his attention. It says that he looked in the mirror and he saw his reflection. He wasn't smiling, but his reflection was smiling back. And I'm just like, wow, that would frick with me for the rest of my life.
It would.
Don't own mirrors. Sure. Point number two.
Don't buy mirrors, and if you have mirrors, tear them down.
Throw them away. Break them. Yeah, this is terrifying, dude. What would I think another concept, and it's a open question. There's not a right answer. I was just doing some like deep brain thinking in terms of the story, and it's like, he says, but I had to sleep sometime, and that's when it got closer. I blinked, and that's all it took. One blink. It's so like, whenever we blink, it's like we miss like 0.3 seconds. So it's like what we see is like a delay, and that's when it moves in closer.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what do you not see?
A lot can happen in 0.4 seconds. Especially if it's really close.
That's a bar. That's a ghost bar.
Yeah. Back to earlier, when I was asking about what the ghost would do if it's just like caught in your view and you're just staring it down. I remember he said, I think it was in the shower, when he made eye contact with it, when it was peeking around the curtain, and then it slowly backed off. For him to know that it slowly backed off, he would have had to been looking at it. So, I think it can move when you're looking.
100%.
Yeah, it can move when you're looking at it. But, yeah, it's back to like the whole sleep deprivation tactic, that it moves most when you're not looking at it. So that kind of forces you to stay alert.
Yeah, don't want to.
Which is scary.
It's terrifying. Also, to make such moves, like he's physically like, I assume this guy got like Gorilla Tape, like not just any tape, like
if good stuff.
If my guy could super glue this bathroom door shut, he would. But even so, this thing, it knows how to get around without being caught. It knows how to be quiet, but like make moves in order to make your life miserable. But it's like, it says like the duct tape. He used duct tape, not Gorilla Tape. So that was his problem. The duct tape I used to seal it had been peeled off slowly, deliberately, like someone didn't want to make a sound.
Man.
So it's like,
Golly.
imagine, and I think this thing, like, to put this into to put this image into your brain, like, I don't think this thing needs to, like, fully concentrate on what it's doing and still be able to watch you.
Yeah.
So imagine this thing's, like, still staring at you, but, like, slowly peeling away the tape.
Yeah. Full eye contact is
Yeah.
a scary thing.
Yeah.
This guy is really good at noticing the small things that the monster is doing. Like he is investigating hard. I don't know, noticing how the tape was peeled off.
Oh, whenever the furniture moves, he goes back and he measures,
Yeah.
like, every width, every, like,
Yeah, measuring
the walls and stuff. He's like, the walls don't move. Like, all the measurements are correct.
Yeah. So he's kind of keeping himself sane in that way by using like hard evidence, even though he perceives his apartment as moving around. He's like using hard measurements and like hard proof to keep himself sane, which is, I think, a pretty
That's
good
logical
defense against this kind of attack. This is such a unique way to haunt somebody. Like I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever heard this before. Like, yeah, just like depriving them of sleep.
Mhm.
Not exactly like directly attacking them
Mhm.
or like doing them like physical harm.
Yeah, that's what I
like
found
keeping
that
them awake.
interesting. That he didn't, like. Well, actually, it was actually towards the end. What really got him is when he stopped moving his neck. Is when he's like, because what you can't see is what you can't see. Outside of your peripheral vision, that's it. And so I think, like, that was the gateway for this thing to be like, all right, now I'm really gonna, like, frick with your head. But also, it's like, part of me is like, well, he didn't really do anything in terms of, like, his bedroom apart from, like, the mirrors and stuff, because he said he stopped looking at the mirrors. You know, you see in a lot of, like ghost stories, it's like, you know, the covers are completely removed from the bed, like a frame falls off of the wall. In this case, you don't necessarily see that, but he feels something breathing on his neck. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting the inclination that it can, like, physically mess with him.
Yeah.
But also, I'm like, okay, yeah, you just kind of have to. That's left up for interpretation.
The wide open front door. Yeah, that's such a weird thing to do. Just like, oh, your front door's open. Haha, got ya.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. It's a weird thing to do, which makes it creepy, I guess.
Also, it feels like, you know, my guy comes home from work, whatever he's doing, and the sink is running, or like something like, you know, on its or
Yeah.
whatever. It's not overdone to the point where it becomes, like, repetitive, but it's like whenever you do see, like, the physical aspects happening, it's like that's very important. That's very crucial. And it's like whenever it's not done a lot, and whenever it does happen, like, whatever that thing is, it's like, yeah, it's like, man, you're done. You're done. You're done. So
It's like if it messes with things around my house while I'm gone, then when I'm home, it might mess with me. It's that sort of deal. So his little final warning to the readers of this story. If you're reading this, don't look away, not even for a second, because it might be in your house now too. He's like, even if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and like start like preparing.
but it's like, I'm kind of confused by that, because, like, even when he says, he's like, you can either run and it follows, or you can stay and it comes in. It's like, my guy, move out.
Yeah,
Move out. End your lease.
That's
Pay the money. Be broke and continue to couch, like, shop.
That's the solution to most ghost stories, I think. But no one ever does it for some reason.
Yeah.
It could follow him to his new house, but if we're going with the previous tenants theory that we came up with earlier, then it wouldn't, because it's just the previous tenants that haunt that location specifically. So they wouldn't follow him if that's the case. And a really effective thing that this story does is not give us all the information we need to solve it. So that's the scary part. Like, we don't know what it is that's in his house.
Mm.
So if we had more details, I feel like that would dilute the story a bit. So I'm glad we're left in the dark. A little
nice. Don't own mirrors. Move out.
And don't look away.
I'm Brayden.
I'm Evan.
We'll see you next time on Ghost Stories and Stuff.